Heavyweights have now started participating, right? And you've been seeing some beaten down mid and small caps as well make a comeback in the last leg of the rally. Time to get cautious on small caps, and if so be the case, would your buy list this morning would be largely large caps?
So in specific pockets, yes, that there is some froth which is developing in the small cap names. There are a few stocks, where we've seen rallies of 30, 40, 50% in a very short span of time. So I think one has to try and adhere caution in that pocket. But then, if you ask me that whether it's a large strategy, I think we're still not getting that reflected or replicated on the major the Nifty 500 index, which you generally track to try and ascertain whether the index is overbought or not. So I think we've not yet seen that reflection in that index as well as most of the components in that index. But yes, in specific pockets there is a sign of overheated price action. Now, in terms of individual stocks, I would focus on stocks which are either on the verge of a breakout or getting ready for a second round of uptrend. Bharat Forge is the first stock which I would suggest as a buy. Stock has been an underperformer, but I think on the recent charts, it's getting back into slight bit of momentum, coming closer to that 870, 875 mark, which is the breakout point for Bharat Forge. So, I would suggest a buy with 900 as a target, stop loss at 855. Now, Aurobindo Pharma is the second stock, which I think after a week of consolidation is back again closer to the breakout levels. We've seen pharma index over the last couple of days. In fact, the mid-cap pharma names have actually started to show some good price action, whether it's likes of Glenmark, Zydus, etc. So I'm expecting Aurobindo Pharma to replicate the same, buy with a target of 780, stop loss at 740.
Okay, now the deal which I want to bring up, and it is Rallis India. Rekha Jhunjhunwala has sold 1 crore shares in Rallis India, and it has been picked up by Tata Chemicals. Let's look at a context here. Of course, Rallis has been one of the oldest investments of late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He kept the faith. There's a time when his ownership in Rallis was almost in double digit. But Rallis, if you frankly ask me, is one of those Tata companies which has disappointed. They continue to disappoint, and they've disappointed. The last quarter numbers were also not that great. Rallis is a Tata group of company. It is a subsidiary of Tata Chemicals. But frankly, if you ask me in terms of what their capability and what their ability is, this has been a ranked underperformer. Now, when you say Rekha Jhunjhunwala is sold, it clearly means that the investment committee, or rare in this case, the investment committee which was been nominated to take care of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's investments, they have taken a decision to sell Rallis. But the broader question you could ask yourself is that, why is Rallis underperforming? I mean, very few Tata group of companies have not really managed to come back despite the efforts. And this is one of those old classic investments where even the great Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in a sense kept the faith but never saw it. Yeah. His ownership, I think, in Rallis was peak of 10%, which subsequently has come down, and it is now sub 5% now. And no, that's not the one you want to look at. You want to look at actually yesterday's block deal, because these are incremental changes, they don't matter. The fact that his ownership when Rallis has come down, and this is June's data, the block deal has happened after that, that just tells you that incrementally they've decided to,
and
sell.
Also quite a steep drop, right? From the earlier 7.75% stake that they held, it's now brought down to 2.25%.
Yeah, it was peak 10 plus is what I remember. Subsequently, they have delivered. The point I want to bring out here is that Rallis has been one of those laggards. Every group has a laggard, and this unfortunately is the laggard for the group.
Okay, that's Rallis in trade for you. Let's see how it actually kickstarts in trade today. Typically when you have marquee investors exiting any stock, there's bound to be sentimental rub-off. Although Rallis doesn't have much of volume traded on a daily basis on the stock in any case. Having said that, let's take it across to Nooresh as well, find out what are the stocks that he's betting on. Nooresh, what's your list looking like this morning?
So focusing on autos being a little more defensive here. First is the buy on Hero MotoCorp. The stock has given a multi-year breakout coming out of an 8 to 9 year consolidation with hardly any returns. 2950 to 3000 mark conquered, went up to 3200 levels, did a retest closer to 3050, 3070. Getting into a tighter range, should see a breakout about 3150 levels. So preempting a buy here, holding on to momentum even in weak markets yesterday. So relative strength is starting to show up for the stock. Expecting it to move towards 3400 plus in the short term, stop loss at 3050. Second is a buy on Bosch Limited, another stock from the auto segment which has gone sideways, consolidated for the last few months. And over the last few days, it has tried to make that attempt to break out above the 19,600 to 19,800 mark. Yesterday also the stock came very close to it and again pulled back a bit. So a good entry point today. This would also be a 2-year breakout for the stock. Expecting this breakout to play out towards 21,000 to 24,000 in the short to medium term. Stop loss to be kept at 18,800.